A president has to have immunity. And the other thing is I did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong.
I mean, the bars are different for people in life. That I've learned. This is the thing about being another. You learn how to be excellent all the time because you can't be less than. Other people can. Other people can be indicted a bunch of times and still run for office.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Not a single lie told. If you've taken a peek at the Hill site, formerly known as Twitter recently, you'd likely have seen Michelle Obama is trending, with a lot of the MAGA crowd up in arms like she wore a tan pantsuit. But as is usually the case, they're furious that she spoke the truth, citing the clear and blatant double standard in how even in the highest office of the land, there's a clear juxtaposition here.
In fact, Joe Biden could be prosecuted for trying to stop this man from becoming the next president of the United States.
While appearing on Jay Shetty's podcast, the former First Lady opened up about her fear of the upcoming election and what is at stake, and without naming names, referred to a certain childlike figure in chief who still, despite countless indictments, being found liable of sexual assault, is somehow still the frontrunner for the GOP.
You know, are we moving at all fast enough? What are we doing about education? Are people going to vote? And why aren't people voting? Are we too stuck to our phones? I mean, those are the things that keep me up because you don't have control over them. And you wonder, where are we in this? Where are our hearts? What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter. Who we select, who speaks for us, who holds that bully pulpit. It affects us in ways that sometimes I think people take for granted. The fact that people think that government, does it really even do anything? And I'm like, oh my God, does government do everything for us? And we cannot take this democracy for granted. White House tests you in ways that you never anticipated. And the fact that we came out as a family, as individuals, the four of us, me and our two daughters, that was us. That was our values, our compassion, our smarts, our strategy that got us through. I'm so proud of my husband and the way he led, the way his administration worked, the team that we built. So proud of everyone. I may have diverted from the question, but
beautiful. Please continue.
I think that's because of who we are. And I know that now.
I can see it in your eyes and feel it from your words. Like it must be hard, like knowing that, it can't always be that way in one sense. It's almost like great that you've been able to leave, but there's that feeling also of like, oh, but that was great.
I mean, the bars are different for people in life. That I've learned. This is the thing about being another. You learn how to be excellent all the time because you can't be less than. Other people can. Other people can be indicted a bunch of times and still run for office. Black man can't. You just learn to be good. And in the end, you benefit from that extra resilience. You could be mad about it, but it also makes you more equipped, right? But it's still not fair.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, it's not the first time that Michelle Obama has articulated her disdain for her husband's successor. In an interview I covered previously, she made her feelings known about the need for an adult in charge.
When making life or death, war or peace decisions, a president just can't pop off or lash out irrationally. No, we need an adult in the White House. So if a candidate is erratic and threatening, if a candidate traffics in prejudice, fears, and lies on the campaign trail, if a candidate thinks that not paying taxes makes you smart, or that it's good business when people lose their homes, if a candidate regularly and flippantly makes cruel and insulting comments about women, about how we look, how we act, well, sadly, That's who that candidate really is. Because we know that being president isn't anything like reality TV. It is not an apprenticeship. And it is not just about fiery speeches or insulting tweets. It's about whether someone can handle the awesome responsibility of leading this country.
But focusing on that double standard, I've said this many a time since Trump first came down that escalator. If there is ever an example of white privilege in America, it is Donald J. Trump.
This is a judge that should be disbarred. This is a judge that should be out of office.
Trump campaigned in 2015 and 2016 over doing things like this. He told everybody, I'm the guy that can fix the code because I'm the one that knows every loophole, and I've been taking advantage of them.
You attest any, and I mean even just one of his countless sexual assault accusations, not to mention the one a court actually found him liable of, to Obama. And could you just imagine the Fox News coverage for a second?
Start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Trump has dismissed that as locker room talk. But in his deposition, he went further.
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the...
Well, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
The same network that lambasted him as unprofessional over the colour of a suit, when we all know it was more about the colour of the man in the suit.
Political grapevine. Arizona's Secretary of State Ken Bennett says he's been asking for 2 months for Hawaiian officials to prove President Obama was born there.
Wow.
Hawaiian officials won't budge until Bennett satisfies a number of requirements, and both sides disagree about whether he's actually done it. Bennett says he might remove President Obama from the ballot in Arizona if the proof doesn't arrive from Hawaii soon, a move Democratic critics say is politically calculated and aimed at capturing support from a fringe group of Republicans as Bennett weighs a run for governor.
Trump spearheaded the birther theory, as brazen a racism as you can get, and it didn't deter a single supporter of his.
You a birther,
Well,
Donald?
Okay, let me just tell you, I was a really good student at the best school. I'm not like a smart guy, okay? They make these birthers into the worst idiots. Why doesn't he show his birth certificate?
3 weeks ago when I started, I thought he was probably born in this country. And now I really have a much bigger doubt than I did before. He doesn't have a birth certificate, or he hasn't shown it. He has what's called a certificate of live birth. A certificate of live birth is not even signed by anybody.
Why still question that he was born in the United States, do you?
I have no idea.
You don't believe him?
I would. I'd love to believe him. You know what? I'll tell you what. I think he'd do a great
Even
service.
at this point?
Well, I don't know. Was it a birth certificate? You tell me.
Nor has the countless indictments, the mishandling of classified documents, and even now, as the Epstein files are released and conservatives are climbing over themselves to scream about Bill Clinton, they're just looking past the fact that Trump is included in the same witness allegations.
High-profile names were mentioned in a batch of documents released yesterday pertaining to the crimes of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. 40 exhibits in the settled case against longtime Epstein confidant Ghislaine Maxwell were made public last night. Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison last year for recruiting teenage girls to be abused by the late billionaire. But the documents were related to an earlier lawsuit against her for civil defamation. Among those named in the more than 800 pages yesterday were former presidents Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, though they are not accused of any wrongdoing. Trump's name came up during witness testimony from one Epstein accuser who recalled the sex offender saying he would, quote, call up Trump to visit one of his casinos in New Jersey. The same woman testified that she never gave the former president a massage. In 2002, Trump told New York Magazine that Epstein was, quote, a terrific guy and a lot of fun to be with, adding that he, quote, likes beautiful women, on the younger side.
He said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
He routinely spoke fawningly of Jeffrey. He admired Epstein's lifestyle.
I'll go backstage before a show, and everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I standing there with no sweat.
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
A lawsuit against the presumptive GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
Imagine if it was Biden, first of all. Then go ahead and times that by 100,000 and imagine it was Obama. Clear and obvious double standard is a scathing indictment of the racism that still permeates amongst swaths of people in this country. And they have the nerve to get mad because a black woman dared call it to attention.
Thanks so much for watching. We're only a few subscribers short of 2 million subs. Please subscribe right now to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel for free and help us grow this unapologetically pro-democracy network.